All right, this is titled "Trump is solving America's problems and making cash along the way." I'm assuming this is about. I'm assuming this is about the $150 billion that he brought in from tariffs. I want to remind you, tariffs are paid by the importer, so American companies paid the tariff. So he just taxed American companies, and then what's going to happen is those American companies are going to raise their prices to make up for the tariffs that they just had to pay. Probably. Now they might just eat the tariffs, but the smaller companies will not. The smaller companies have no choice; they have to raise their prices. So what the experts are saying is there's going to be inflation in about 3 to 6 months. So let's see what Greg Gutfeld has to say. Anyways, this is news. I want to remind you, this is on Fox News. This is news, apparently.
In a recent poll, young men struggled to name any masculine leader within the Democratic Party except Obama, causing the pollsters to ask.
All right, we're just going to skip forward because this is just brain rot. It's really sad. We all know somebody, probably. Family, friends of family, maybe even your husband or wife, loves Fox News. Loves it. Eats it up every day. It's on the TV. Every night, it's on the TV. It's literally brain rot. Like, this is the equivalent of just, like, scrolling on TikTok.
All right, so this weekend, Trump.
I think I hate this guy more than I hate Trump. Because Trump, for all his fascism and racism and xenophobia, at least he's kind of funny because he's out of his mind. But this guy, Greg Gutfeld, is just not funny, and he's just a horrible human being.
Struck a massive
No redeeming qualities at all.
trade deal with the EU worth hundreds of billions of dollars. This after Trump's agreement with Japan last week. So you
The EU leader actually just said they can't do about, I think it was 80% of that deal. They can't actually do it. So.
pattern here. Trump is solving America's problems one after the other and making cash for us along the way. Trump.
I can't wait for him to tell us what problems Trump has solved. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that they have reduced illegal immigration. Number one, how can we trust the numbers that come out of a Trump administration that has lied time and time again? Go look at the White House Twitter account. It's just straight up propaganda. How can we trust this administration and their numbers? Trump himself can't even trust his own people. He just fired the labor statistics leader because they released a report that said that they've lost so many jobs. They've lost the most amount of jobs in 6 months since 2020, since the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. And Trump, what did Trump do? He thinks those numbers are fake and he fired them. So Trump himself can't even trust his own workers. So how are we going to trust his administration?
threatens
to Trump's global trade war escalates, so do the odds of a recession.
Donald Trump is single-handedly, unilaterally, and for no reason, plunging America into economic crisis.
24 hours after Donald Trump intentionally detonated a bomb in the heart of the...
I don't think it's a good way to judge the economy based on stocks. And most of the stock money is owned by rich people. So it's not, in my opinion, a good way to judge the economy. Unemployment, housing, rent, gas, groceries, that's a better way to judge the economy, in my opinion. But he did tank the stocks.
most resilient economy on the planet.
And those idiots miss the mark more often than Stevie Wonder playing lawn darts. Of course, Armageddon never materialized. Instead, as countries make concessions and our economy takes off.
Nope, all they're saying is it's going to lead to this. It's going to lead to a recession or high inflation. And what the experts are saying is a lot of Trump's policies aren't going to take into effect until 2026. A lot of the educational cuts that he's made won't take into effect until this school year and then 2026, right? The school year doesn't start until August, September of this year. Let's come back at the end of the year, around December, January, February, and let's check in on Greg Gutfeld and Fox and see how the economy is doing then. If we're wrong, we're wrong. I'll say it. I'll admit it. Because myself, I don't want to see the average American suffer. I don't want to be right. I don't think most of us don't want to be right about this. But that's what the experts are saying, right? We don't want to see Americans suffer, but the experts are saying it's probably going to happen at the end of the year.
The media is now forced to admit that these evil tariffs are working.
He's been issuing many threats of tariffs, but they clearly have been working.
Absolutely a victory on behalf of the Trump administration. On this deal, the European Union, this is a big win for the U.S.
It's a triumph of a lot of things. Certainly the president ought to take a victory lap.
The early reviews are in on the new trade deal announced with the European Union. The Financial Times says the deal marks a victory for Trump.
Oh, you know that was hard to say. Even one of Trump's biggest critics is admitting the president was right all along.
I, along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning.
Are we fucking serious? Bill Maher is one of Trump's biggest critics. He literally met with Donald Trump at the White House. He is not Donald Trump's biggest critic. I can name you 5 bigger critics than fucking Bill Maher. Get the fuck out of here. Guy's a centrist.
Oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the economy was going to be tanked by then. The stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market. I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So,
I think that's because most people don't fucking understand what a tariff is.
But Trump's hardline negotiations aren't just successful with tariffs. He's doing the same in Ukraine. Europe is committing billions to buy U.S. arms and send them to Ukraine, and NATO members have increased their defense spending to 5%. While they walked all over Biden like he was already 6 feet under, Trump is getting allies to pay their fair share.
Didn't Trump and Fox News and MAGA, they all criticized Biden for funding the Ukraine war, and apparently Biden is pro-war and started the war, I guess, apparently. Yet when Trump sells weapons to the EU, who then sends the weapons and money to Ukraine, that's somehow different. That's somehow better. 2 + 2 = 5, right?
Now you're wondering, I thought Trump wanted to end the war. Me too. But if you know that that's not in the cards for now, the next best thing is to monetize the mess. Stop being...
The guy literally said, he literally said, I will end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. The dude ran on that. It's now August. We are 8 months into the Trump presidency. Still a war going on, guys.
This instinct works almost everywhere, including college campuses. At home, Trump threatened federal funding after anti-Semitic protesters wreaked havoc on Ivy League campuses. And what happened? Columbia pays $200 million in fines. Harvard is in talks to pay over $500 million. Meanwhile, UCLA will have to pay more.
Yeah, Columbia is a fucking shame of a university. They folded. Anti-Semitic. Get the fuck out of here.
More than $6 million for allowing protesters to build a Jew exclusion zone. Normally, that's just called the basketball team.
How can you say anti-Semitism in one sentence, and then in the next sentence you say that?
Trump put it on their tab, and suddenly hating Jews wasn't so much fun. But that's Trump's gift, to create something valuable out of thin air. He didn't look at these woke colleges and think, wow, this mindset's been around for decades, it's probably hopeless. Nope, he magically comes up with a plan. He slaps a price tag on their behavior. No one's really done that before, at least to my knowledge.
Dude, oh my fucking god. This is the closest that we get to a dictatorship. This is the closest that we get to like a fascist government without just murdering people, without just executing people and disappearing people. This is the biggest overstep of a president we probably have ever seen in the modern history, modern era. He threatened the university. If you don't do what I say, you're gonna lose funding. It's pretty fascist if you ask me. But Gutfeld loves it. He loves it because he's a Trump sycophant. He's a Trump sucker.
And I'm really smart. He realizes that if you can't make bad behavior disappear, then at least charge them for it until they start rethinking the cost of the behavior themselves. You know, we always hear about the carrot and stick approach.
No, the normal, constitutional, moral, right thing to do. You can call out Columbia all you want, but let Columbia handle it themselves, right? We are the country of freedom, I thought. Let the university handle it themselves.
Approach, using a combo of rewards and punishments to motivate people to do the right thing. But for Trump, the carrot and...
So Trump is the one that decides what the right and the wrong thing is. Man, this is a cult. This is a cult. We are being run by a cult leader. And his cult followers are running the media. This is like mass brainwashing, man. Trump gets to decide what is right and wrong and what universities can and can't allow. That's... Good Lord, we are fucked.
This time around, he's had 4 years in the wilderness to really plan this. And he's sitting there, and I've spoken to him a few times about this. He just came with a plan. And he was like, I'm not going to be knocked off course. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. I'm not going to die wandering. I'm just going to do it. And
if anybody's wondering what the plan is, it's just Project 2025. It's not his plan. It was a plan that was given to him. He probably likes 95% of it, and he's going to follow 95% of it. But it was written and funded by the Heritage Foundation.
Speaking with the British Prime Minister, and he started saying, you know what, I just think that running a country's easy. And of course, my Prime Minister was like, is it? You know, he's been having a clinker over time. And he said, you just lower tax.
It's easy when you can just golf for like, I don't know, what is it, like 30 or 40% of his presidency. He could just go golf. Like, yeah, that does sound like an easy job. You go to a few meetings, you do a few speeches, and you golf. Yep. In the meantime, you get gifted a private jet from Qatar.
Taxes, you're strong on the border, you're tough on immigration, you have fewer foreign wars, and all the people in the UK were going, this sounds great.
Yeah, you know what? You just gave me an idea, Congresswoman. Shouldn't Trump run a masterclass on running a country on YouTube? You know those masterclasses?
Yes.
And you sign up, you pay $500,000, and you just listen to him, and he goes, this is what you do. This is what you do. What do you make of what he's been doing to the Ivy League?
Well, certainly this is an issue. You all remember that horrific hearing with those Ivy League presidents, former presidents, after I asked them questions.
Yeah.
President Trump has been tremendous holding them accountable, and I think this was a real turning point in higher education, and it really epitomizes how far to the left radical academia has become. And that's not what people want. That's not what parents want, and that's not what we want our next generation of leaders. So President Trump has kept his promises and is holding them accountable, and now they are paying the price, as they should, to rebuild American education. So I've been proud to be the leader in Congress and proud to have a president like President Trump do.
These people think that calling out Israel for starving and bombing kids, now we're at about 60,000 confirmed deaths. Apparently that's radical. To call that out is radical. Is the radical left. If that's radical, man, let's fucking radicalize. Fuck that.
But I want to add to what Piers Morgan said in your point about a masterclass. President Trump is already teaching a masterclass these past 6 months. It's not just Americans.
Dude, the fucking glazing.
Who are looking at the golden age of America. It's world leaders who also understand that he is the alpha among all the world leaders, that he is leading this charge in terms of this golden age in this century. So I'm very...
Dude, these countries are laughing at us. We have a president that thinks tariffs are attacks on other countries.
The opening shot, the golf?
No.
Scotland absolutely crushed it. The guy's nearly 80. He went out and he just went boom, and he sort of stood there like Tiger Woods.
Oh, he's probably watching this show right now and going, this is a great show.
Beautiful show.
This is really... Rewind it. I want to play that. I want to hear that again. It is kind of funny, though, Kennedy, how we were told that he was a laughing stock.
Oh, my God. Piers Morgan just compared Donald Trump to Tiger Woods. And then what does Gutfeld say? He's probably watching the show right now. Holy Glaze.
Stock of the global stage.
Yes.
And now he just goes in there and they give him what he wants. Was that all BS?
No, they did not give him what he wants.
Flattering light possible. But to Pierre's point, you know, he took that time in the wilderness and he really figured out with a lot more discipline.
What the fuck are they talking about? He spent, okay, this is what you want to know what he did. Because unfortunately I follow Donald Trump a lot. You want to know what he did in his 4 years? He spent his 4 years truthing on Truth Social, right? Going to court, because he had so many court cases he had to go to. That was the other thing he had to do. And golfing. That's all that he did in his last 4 years. That's all he did. And also hating on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. That's all that he did in his 4 years. This plan, like I said, this plan is not his plan. This plan is the Heritage Foundation's plan, Project 2025. It's a game plan, and he's just following it.
Than he had in his first term. What do I need to do to actually move the needle and make the country better? Not what do I need to do to boost my legacy so I'll make a bunch of money from Netflix post-presidency. What can I do to be liked by the angry tiny mob? But what can I do to actually make people's lives better? I hope every president does that. To your point about a masterclass, I hope Democrats do that and stop worrying.
This is the apparent Democrat on Fox News. She's a Democrat.
About appeasing people who, no matter what you do, they will hate you because you're part of the establishment.
I still am waiting for them to say exactly what Trump has made. Like, what has he made better in his now 8 months? What has he done to help the average American? They haven't actually said anything. They haven't actually presented anything for that. What has he made better?
And the one thing I will say about the tariffs, this is something that everyone should cheer. Like, if we are lowering our deficits and if we have these record-breaking numbers, the only thing I ask, I feel like we're halfway there. There should be an automatic switch that if we have a $300 billion trade surplus, that should immediately trigger a tax cut, especially for middle-income Americans who get absolutely hosed even in a great economy.
That is a great point.
Fox still doesn't know what a tariff is. A tariff is a tax on American companies.
Iris, this is...
And I will say a little tariff is good, sure, but not 25, 30, 400%.
I would like to say one thing, though. We don't like to gloat a lot on the show. But when all this tariff stuff talking was, even the people on the Republican side were like, whoa. And I believe it was two gentlemen that sat here and said, one of them in particular, a tall, light-skinned brother, said, trust the process.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. The only thing I would like to see is no more pre-recorded hate sessions on the president. It has to be live. All these news, they're not even, you got to stop calling them media and stuff like that. We just need to call them just...
you can't call them news. Dude, you literally work at Fox. You're on Fox News right now, on the Gutfeld show, a comedy show.
Bitch-ass crybabies. That's what they are. At some point, these networks have to say, enough. But we have to get people in. Just report the news. You don't need your personal feelings. Just say, here's the plan. Here's how it's going. And if it goes bad, then you can bring in your experts. But they just...
Coming from Fox News. Fox News is saying, just report the news, guys. Oh my fucking God, we're fucked.